Okay, let's try this a second time. Let me just turn on my controller real quick. Because I'll need to figure out something if there's a issue going forward. And then how did my game... No? That's weird. Or is this whole screen just like offset for some reason? No, like why is that all weird now? And now it's fine. Okay, whatever. I need to not care. Okay, things are working. As they should have been a couple of minutes ago. I have way too much overhead. Oh, and that's right, I needed to sleep. I forgot, that's what I needed to do. So we go to sleep. I think these are off. I'll just turn them back on. I think the only thing I'm planning on buying is I am gonna buy the upgraded water tank. You know, I may opt for the 90,000 gallon version. You know what? I meant to go earlier. Oh well, is what it is. I meant to start at midnight to give myself more time to do multiple different areas. Oh well. Fog is terrible. And then I would rather it just be at... Actually, I guess it doesn't necessarily matter what it's at, right? Because this only goes out 7.3. No, it actually... No, it probably does matter. Now, here's the thing. Now then, we are also at the point where I may just have to move these if they become an issue again. Because basically what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to just follow it as it's mowing. Sorry, that was more my bad. Okay, either way, I ended up starting later today, which was my bad. I ended up taking a nap. Yeah, no, so I think the only thing that would help me out more would be getting the maximum size windrower. in the base game, so that's 92,000. The only other upgrade that would likely matter would be getting the maximum size upgrade for my trailer, which would increase how much I can carry by like double, I think. So that could be worth it. I'm not necessarily going to be concerned too much with whatever it misses. Oh, well, it's doing that. So yeah, I can literally just double what I'm getting, or, you know, for 10k more. We'll let it finish doing whatever it's doing. But yeah, so the max level windrower does 14 on either side, which I think is what I would need. Yeah, I think that's what I would need, and it would cover, at the 7.3 meters, it would cover just moving everything over every single time, pretty much. So that might actually be what I save up to. I might literally save up for the bigger windrower. And realistically, it probably doesn't even necessarily need to be that one in particular. It just needs to be a little bit bigger than what I have. No, not the crest. So it would need to be bigger than 8.4. Honestly, this one was just probably like the safest option. Either way, because basically now what I could do is I could just follow behind it, and then if I upgrade, you know, literally I just follow behind it and, you know, get all the benefits. And then I need to make sure the other things are on. No, they are not. Yeah, that wasn't even set to distribute. So I don't necessarily care if it's an hour late. Yeah, it's gonna leave a line every single time. Oh, also, we never... Yeah, the yield is less, but what about up top? Now the yield's just less. Okay. So another thing we'll do when we move on to the next one, we'll have the other tractor we will have it come drop fertilizer, lime, and fertilizer. And then at some point, like I said, we'll replow the fields and plant grass seed and stuff. Excuse me. You know what, while I'm waiting for it to turn around, I can stay in this row and collect the couple of pieces of grass that didn't get picked up. Yeah, I think if I get the biggest windrower, I think I could technically collect all the grass. should just slowly be pulling away because I go slightly faster. I do know that if I do get the other windrower, because it needs a bit more horsepower, I believe I'd have to switch to a large mower to pull. So I would probably have to switch the two mowers, or the two tractors. Because at the moment, it is technically only working at full speed because the windrower slows down it enough so that the mower doesn't need its full power. And because the mower doesn't need its full power, it's still covering everything. Which I think is kind of funny. Either way. So the goal is either a much bigger windrower, a much bigger forge wagon, or a actually, yeah, I guess that would really be it. You know, I think this is literally the most efficient I could have it, where it's mowing everything and it's turning into one thing. I know technically the buying the actual big mower of the game would also technically be an improvement for me. But at the same time, it isn't such a big improvement that it actually matters to me at all. I do want to say, I do believe the big mower doesn't require anything. But I also do know another thing I could do is instead of buying the big mower, you can buy the big forge wagon and get a mower head. And with that mower head, you could actually accomplish quite a bit because it also collects the grass and it holds 20,000. Plus, you can put a trailer to follow behind it, and I believe the biggest trailer holds like 40,000. You know, so that's really good money. Also, I do know I am not sure how you replace soil, so I do kind of wish I knew that. But either way, I will probably be buying a plow and stuff. Like I said, it could just be worth buying a bigger forge wagon. I mean, it's not too expensive. Like, it's expensive, sure, but it's not so expensive that it becomes a problem to get it. Oh my god. I swear sometimes the controls for this, it like oversteers sometimes for what seems like no reason at all. Either way. If I were to upgrade my forge wagon, it'd be kind of convenient because I'd basically be able to collect 2 to potentially 3 full, or at the very least, I should be able to collect 2 full rows each time. one less trip. You know, it doesn't matter how much faster I'm going than the other mower. I'm always going to be going slower if I have to take more trips than it just going through and cutting everything. Because I'd have to be going like, I don't know, maybe 15 miles per hour collecting stuff. And then I don't necessarily like a lot of the modded forge wagons and whatnot because they seem very overpowered for one reason or another. Or at the very least, like, storage capacity and whatnot just seems like it's overkill compared to, like, base game stuff. I think the mail just showed up. Okay. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I forget how much more the big trailer holds, but I do know that it could technically be worth it to upgrade to a forge wagon and just have it mow and, you know, it'll collect everything. And I believe it covers only a 6-meter radius, but the fact of the matter is, you know, it can cover everything and it holds a trailer. So, like, if I were to look, what is it? I think trailers are up here. The biggest trailer holds 56,000. So it would hold 6,000 more. So it'd hold like 75 to 80,000, I believe. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get rid of the middle section to this and just make it so that I have one big row. Or one big square as compared to a square with a couple pieces going off the edge. Now, I will say this, if I do need to remove the building and and the tent potentially. I don't think I have to remove the tent, but if I have to remove the tent because it's in the way, what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to replace them before I do anything else, because they need to be maintained. And I do mean, like, if I spend $1 more, it needs to be on, you know, replacing those two first if I do need to move them. But yeah, I think that one little section just needs to be completely removed. I may even opt to make this field wider, which means I'll make the, you know, the field in front of me longer. I probably want to make that one wider too, to be honest. Either way, I will say I do like this so much better than doing anything else. Now, the only thing I don't know about auger wagons is I'm not 100% sure if they can get filled the normal way or not. Because I know technically they're supposed to follow a, it's supposed to be like a belt that's supposed to feed them and empty them. So, like, I'm unsure how the game does that. If they're just allowed to dump, or if you need, like, the special silos that have the auger things that it's supposed to connect to empty it. Or to fill it and empty it. Or, like, if it only matters that, yes, you can use the auger containers on anything, but when you want to only have the auger trailers doing stuff, it needs to specifically be auger silos, because that's the only thing that can pull from them and put stuff into them. Like, I do wonder if that's the type of deal we're at. Now, then one of the YouTubers that I normally watch do challenge-ish runs like this. Like, he was doing a challenge run on an island, and it's like, ooh, like, that seems like something that's up my alley. And then, like, when I saw him sell the grass and stuff, like, I assume it would just be like, okay, he's putting the land really high up. So if you wanted to buy any sort of land, it would just be uber expensive, because you'd have to raise up the land so much. And it's like, no, that's not necessarily the case. It's no, you start with this tiny block of land, and it's try to accomplish as much as you can in it. And it's like, oh, no, can't do that. I'll stick with potentially doing the Islands Challenge one next, since I do know that one would be a little bit more friendly, because it's just like, oh yeah, no, like, most of it's underwater, and, you know, the only way to do anything is to raise the ground level above the water. Like, sometimes there are public challenge maps that, like, actually seem interesting and fun to do, but then at the same time, it's like, eh. Like, one of the maps that I want to do, you actually start with a bunch of stuff, but, the problem I have is that technically speaking, it is a map that requires some of the DLC. And because it requires some of the DLC, it's like, I can't play it. Like, I know it's like $80 to buy, I think, like, all but like 2 or 3 of the DLCs, I think. Because I think one of them is just, for different vehicles, which isn't necessarily a big deal for one of them. But I know a couple of them are like actual big deal important things. By the way, we'll see what happens once it gets to the buildings again. If it gets caught up on them a second time, like I said, I will just get rid of the buildings. I'll just probably move them where they're more out of the way, hopefully. And why is my tablet off? It shouldn't have turned off at all. I literally have it set up where it needs to. Okay, yeah, that was just dumb. I literally have my tablet set up that it literally, the screen never turns off unless I tell it to turn it off. Mainly because of how I choose to use my tablet. I'm either using it or I'm not, so, you know, the screen's normally always off, but I just use it to monitor the stream so I can see the quality of it. It just seems so dumb that for whatever reason it would just be like, nope, not working. I'm gonna turn off the screen even though I haven't to never turn off the screen. And it's plugged in, so it's like it shouldn't turn off the screen regardless because that's also its own setting and I have it set up that way too. Apple and not following their own settings. Yeah, again, I wonder what the issue is with these spots not growing. We'll just collect. Like I said, it'd be a bit more convenient if we had a bigger forge wagon. It may not exactly be necessary, but you know, there's necessary and then there's nice to have, and nice to have is nice to have. Really do hate this sometimes. My goal is to play for at least 4 hours at the moment. I don't think I have enough time to do that because I ended up falling asleep. just collect it from this side and then I'll... start collecting the other one. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think it's gonna have issues in a second, so I think I can collect one more run, and then I will need to see what the problem is going to be. Yeah, most of that's just lower yield at the moment. Now, the nice thing will be is when I get a plow, it'll be super convenient to do stuff. How did I miss that piece? Whatever. I mean, it's not even necessarily that much where I need to be that concerned about it, but still. Yeah, now I've seen a lot of people do challenge runs on these different maps. And like, no offense, like I know how many hours I put in. And even now where it's just like, oh, I don't technically need to spend any more money on newer, better equipment. Like, honestly, like I could save up the 160,000 or so that I need, and I could start farming like actual things now if I really wanted. Like, that wouldn't be an issue at all for me to do actual farming. But I'm unsure how quickly I want to transition off of it, because I do kind of want to replow some of the fields completely and do the proper throw on lime and whatnot to actually have the best yield. Oh, did it get through it? It got through it. Before, I think I might have had it on 7.3 still. I don't think I had updated it. And that's maybe why it got stuck that one time. Because it was technically off slightly further, but yeah. Because I think it was like slightly off more to the side by like 2 or 3. Yeah, this is holding everything. In fact, it's holding it so well, I would argue that I could upgrade it. Well, not necessarily upgrade it, but, you know, make it so I can hold more. Like, I could have left it at 100,000 if I wanted. You know what, let's pick up more soilage additive. It would be nice as you upgraded this, you got bigger soilage additive. Also, I'm gonna fully upgrade this to what it needs to be. And then we'll buy our plow. Well, technically, I guess we could buy our plow next, but... Again, I want to make sure this plow is ready. Or not, the cultivator is ready for when I need it. Yeah, I think if anything, I would add just the twin wheels all around, but... Yeah, it just doesn't make... Well, who knows? The treads might actually be nice. 42,000 just to have this fully kitted out. I'll leave it as is. So you want this because it gives you a roller that works. And then I believe you need the back thing to do something else that it does while it's on. It might actually just be the seeder. No, that's not the seeder thing. The seeder thing is a part of the actual plows. Either way, we'll spend... Oh, it didn't cost anything extra to add this? That's weird, because normally Design 5 is an extra 10,000. I mean, I'm not going to argue with the game being like, oh, you're lowering the design? That's fine. Oh, I forgot it doesn't. Wasn't attached. Oh, it loaded stuff in funny. I didn't realize. Okay, yeah, so we'll do this. We'll throw the other tractor over here. We'll have it fertilize lime and then fertilize again for the next month. We'll have it go to the next field and do the same thing. We'll have it do the same thing to the bottom field to make sure everything is all good. Regardless of how much it costs, because it's not actually that bad of a deal. I could probably have it start mowing the other field and it not be a big issue that affects me too much. But yeah, like I said, like a bigger forge wagon would just be convenient. Because I'd be able to collect more and basically just stick right behind the other thing while it's mowing. Which would be convenient for me. Another thing I thought about doing is because I actually have, although the video quality might not necessarily be great, I do think it isn't that bad. I was thinking about taking out my Nintendo 64, grabbing my Dazzle. I would hook it up so that I could record it, possibly even stream it, because very few people probably have the unique sort of situation I have, because I forget which Pokemon Stadium game it is. I believe it's Pokemon Stadium 2. But I believe in Pokemon Stadium 2. Again, it's just a question of whether which game it is specifically, whether it's 1 or 2. But I believe it's 2 lets you play the Game Boy Color games. So you can play any of the Game Boy Color games. So if you have, although I do believe, depending on what copy of the game you have, like, so if you have an English copy of Pokemon Stadium, I believe it needs to be the English version of the games. And if it's the Japanese copy, it needs to be specifically the Japanese versions of the games, just because of how it reads stuff. But besides that, like, you'd be able to play, what would it be for the US? It'd be yellow, blue, and red for the original games, right? And then you would play Pokemon Silver, Gold, and Crystal. I was thinking of playing Pokemon Silver because I already lost my save. The battery on the game died. And, you know, very few people play the non-emulated version of the game. You know, very few people play a legit copy of the game. So I just thought about replaying it and reliving some childhood memories, and if I opt to do that, that's probably something I'm going to stream, but I may stream that specifically on YouTube. I may actually opt to have 2 different OBSs installed. I might have one through Steam and then one normal. And then have one set up for YouTube and one set up for Twitch. Again, it's just because so many people play on emulator, it'd be kind of nice to, you know, see somebody who's not playing on an emulator. That's right, I left it over here. You have fertilizer, perfect. Because the lime doesn't matter, I just need to drop it at some point. You go do you. Wherever you're gonna go do it at. Okay, we got 3 tractors rolling at once at the moment. I'm not gonna have that one start right away on the next field, because it is harder to see the grass when the grass grows, the cut grass anyways. So I probably will wait till midnight. Either way, you know, either way, I thought about playing, technically speaking, I've never beaten gold. I've beaten the heck out of silver. I don't know what was wrong with gold, but, Like, I restarted that one like 3 times. I could never beat it. So either way, like I said, I thought I would just play through it and beat it for the fun of it. I'd potentially do all 16 badges. And then beat the Elite Four the second time when they're better. But like, I played the heck out of Pokemon Silver and Crystal. Like I said, I could never be gold. Like, I even went so far because I had a link cable. I transferred my team that beat the Elite Four to my Pokemon Gold. They could not win. And I was just like, what? This is a team that's beaten the Elite Four like 40 times at that point. What do you mean they can't beat the Elite Four? Oh, I actually managed to fill this up. Oh, that's an interesting thing. Okay, yeah, this needs to go specifically from the top down. I will actually probably just mow this last little piece by myself on my own, just so it gets done. Again, it's not a matter of it being perfect, it's a matter of it getting done. Well, if anything, we've learned that with this setup, I can probably use another villager thing for soilage. Initially, I was just going to use the tower for soilage, but then like that becomes its own little problem of, although yes, it can hold a lot, and in theory, it'd be doing just as much as the other towers to start with at 7,000. And it can hold more. Like, it doesn't necessarily alleviate the issue that I had with it. Either way, that's done. Now that can stay there. That should have just kept emptying. Yep. Yeah, so technically, if the silo is getting full, that means about 115,000 has gotten sent out and in, and then over the course of the several hours I've been collecting, how much would it be? Like 70-ish thousand? Or no, it'd be what, 28 times 7? So what, almost 200,000 more has been processed, roughly? Interesting to say the least. I could technically up the game speed a little bit, but I don't necessarily want to do that if I don't need to. It'd be nice if there was like an option just to move this. Again, expand this back to like here-ish would be great. No, that's not done yet. Collect all this grass. Collect this grass. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, the only reason why I wouldn't want to get a silo right now is just because it wouldn't work as intended. Now, I know another thing I could technically do is I could do this and have it distribute silage to this for even more money. But yeah, again, I want to completely make this a normal part. Expand this out, I don't know, like 3, 4, 5. Probably at least to double the size of this. Which is why it would make it nice if there was an easier way to make big squares with nothing in the middle. Where it's like, yes, I can actually make like really big sizes. Yeah, I almost wish this didn't start with a shop and I bought the shop option for myself. I had the mod where I could buy and place down the shop. Okay, yeah, I'll be able to collect at least 2 full trailers full now. That's not done yet. But yeah, I'd prefer to be able to just do that. The other trailer or the other trailer should be done in a second. So I can technically lime tomorrow. We'll start mowing the other field soon. And then we can start fertilizing it and stuff. Okay, well, I'm going to be spinning around quite a bit going forward, so it's hopefully not an issue. Okay. I believe at midnight new stuff should pop up in the shop. Whenever it says that one's done or the icon for it changes, I'll go swap so it can start doing lime. It might technically be another reason to get another tractor. I want to say technically all of the fertilizer ones, it doesn't even really matter. I could use a little tiny tractors. and it would work the same. Yeah, the AI worker is done. Well, like I said, like that doesn't matter as much to me as getting this done. Because again, we can collect this even if the grass grows. It's just, it makes it harder. And then plus, I don't like it when the grass isn't cut in two separate tones. But yeah, I don't think the fertilizer thing slows you down. I think like however fast or slow you go just changes how much fertilizer you use. You know, we'll just go and run to the other one. It'll start dumping all the lime and whatnot. After midnight, we swap it back over to fertilizer. I know technically another thing I need for this machine in front of me, that technically needs a seeder box to hold extra seeds because if I want to use it, but the AI can use it just fine. Just because the AI charges me for the seeds. Um, it missed a spot. I hope it's just because it's doing the head rows for whatever reason, but like that doesn't make sense because it shouldn't have. You know what? I'll leave it alone. It doesn't matter too much realistically. I mean, realistically, to line, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to plow the whole field. But since most people don't necessarily play with periodically having to replow the field just because it is just beyond annoying to have to do. Like, I believe with course play, it'll automatically replow a field that the game recognizes as a field because it just changes the option where where the game is allowed to use a plow, it just turns that option on. But even still, now then, I don't necessarily care how much money it's costing me to fertilize and whatnot because it actually does make a pretty decent difference on how much money I'm making as a whole. Like I said, I'm unsure where it makes sense to stop with like I know there's a point where it stops making sense to not fertilized, but where like it literally just stops making sense to just flat out collect stuff. With the precision farming mod, just because you know it does lower your yields by like a decent bit. Is the difference is in the base game without precision farming, you're guaranteed a minimum amount, and although you are still guaranteed a minimum amount with precision farming, the issue is that that amount is half of what you would normally get without precision farming. So it becomes a thing of like pick your poison. But yeah, those little rows need to go. I will just remove them. Like I said, I may just remove it as a whole and move the... It's really just the garage itself needs to move. But I may also move the tent and then just have it where I have 8 of these set up. So I would only need to buy another 4 more, and that'd be another 40,000 invested. But in theory, you know, it would allow my money per hour to double. Now then, I wouldn't be able to collect enough grass for it to make sense realistically. Like, I would probably only ever need 5, but I would rather the silo be completely empty of grass that it can transfer than, you know, where I'm at right now, where I can technically collect just enough grass that I have too much grass. You know, because that shouldn't be an issue I'm having. But yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this whole center row of grass. I might technically even push it into the field that we're fertilizing and stuff right now. Now then, there would be a not so good reason and a decent reason for doing so if I push it back and just make the whole thing bigger. You know, and then I'm going to be pushing this way for the shop. Like, it just kind of makes sense that I wouldn't necessarily... I would want just the extra space around all the buildings and whatnot. Maybe just go with the max size brush and, you know, take out 2 squares worth all around. Have my working area be a bit wider. Potentially take out 1 whole square of the biggest size to my right as well. That way there's just space for stuff, and then just, you know, take it the rest of the going that way. And then I'll just expand out the field by like a ton. I just think it would work out better for me in the long run. Let's say, because you know what they say, sometimes there isn't a good option, there is just the option you have. It's about to be midnight. We'll start the other mower in a minute. Now then, I do like that the game maintains information about the auto worker. Also, it missed the whole right side of this. Did it not need it? Because I know in theory it's supposed to know what needs stuff and what doesn't, but it's still supposed to cover it. Like, it's missing... Oh my god, the game. You know what, Fox? You're making me mad. It's another reason why I want extra space. Yeah, we'll just dump this off, and then we'll collect the other bit. And then again, I really hate the controls sometimes, because it, like, oversteers sometimes. Well, actually, I'll rephrase it. It over and understeers sometimes. Okay, well, it's doing that. We'll hit B on this, so this starts. I don't necessarily care what it starts doing. All that it does is that it starts. Bale wrapper. Point and front loader. And I think that's just the... I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be high-vis green. I mean, I would consider it, but at the same time, like, I don't care. Again, since this is already fertilized, have it get fertilized one more time. And then it'll be max fertilization. Then we can go to the other side and we'll do the same thing. And then hopefully by the time we're done collecting all the grass from the next field, well, we'll have enough money for our plow, and that would be convenient for me. Collect all the grass that ended up being left over from the mower. Although it didn't hit it all the time, which is funny. Now then, just because I'm gonna wait for the other one to finish its head rows and stuff, I'm gonna run back to the other tractor instead of teleporting to it. My main reason is I want this to empty a bit more. Plus, there's really no point. Yeah, I think there's just like one little piece of information it's not giving me. And part of it might literally just be precision farming may technically need one of the DLCs to like both give me updated information, because I believe one of the mods that I have is supposed to completely get rid of the need of needing to do a soil sample and stuff for precision farming. But I guess the AI just has like other ideas on what isn't needed. Either way, we'll unload this. We'll swap it over for fertilizer. We'll have it go over the field again. Yeah, well, it's just basically we just need to save up like 170,000, I think. Yeah, and might as well could just collect all of it. The next time I go through this field might be the last time, but I'd rather just make sure I hit all of it. We'll go and do everything now. But I'd rather just make sure it hits everything than it doesn't. So realistically, all I need is a plow now. Technically, another smart thing to do would be to buy a mulcher. Mulch everything. You know, so it'd get rid of all the little... I think it even gets rid of one growth for all the different things. But literally, just get rid of all the growths. And then just go again and get everything. But if Courseplay does let the plow thing work on its own, I should hopefully be golden. Because I will say the auto steer in this game is not good enough. Okay, and then now that it is about to finish its first circle, let's just start collecting grass. Again, upping the storage for it for that one big silo wasn't even necessarily what I wanted. Ooh, this whole field already seems to be providing a good bit of grass. Like a really good bit of grass. Yeah, I still need to completely redo this, though. Yeah, I do believe you technically need to fully plow your field and then replant it to get the best seeding rate. And then with the best seeding rate, you can get to the highest potential fertilization. At least for the game. Or not fertilization, the highest level of yield for the game. But there's, you know, probably some stuff I still need to look up to know how to do it even better. The money lost on fertilizing isn't even necessarily all that bad, though. So luckily that isn't going to be a big concern for me. Could always wait a little bit to collect grass. Yeah, it'd be interesting if there were two separate upgrades where you could upgrade its storage. Like, and I know you're not supposed to be able to upgrade the production speed of stuff because it isn't necessarily how most things would work. There isn't just an easy way to make grass become soilage. Like, yes, there are some better ways to turn small amounts of grass into soilage. But just because there are ways that make things a little quicker doesn't necessarily mean there is some large-scale way to do it. And although the in-game ways do kind of work, the problem is those concrete walls like really mess things up a lot of times. Because the issue is they let the I'll wait a second for it to do its turn. Like, part of the problem is the game doesn't... The game will let the grass travel through the concrete walls, which is a problem, because then you end up with certain things where it's like, oh, you can't collect it. But then it doesn't let you take off the extra piece of tarp that's covering the other stuff until you collect everything. And it's like, well, I can't collect it because you let some of it go through the concrete wall and I can't collect what's in the concrete wall. It's like, oh, well, then I guess you just can't collect it. So I know some people made different soilage pits things that don't have the concrete wall, and it might have like little tires or whatever on for the wall. You know, something where you could still feasibly collect it with like the modded shovel and stuff. But that becomes its own issue of like, should that be allowed? And obviously it should, but like I said, it just, you know, it adds its own question of should that be allowed? Either way, we'll dump off all the grass and stuff we can collect. If we ever get like maxed out for any reason, even for like a minute or two, I'll just deal with it. I think I'll also just deal with everything I have at the moment. I don't think there is a reason for me to spend any other money, so I think I will just save up the 100,000 and so I need for the what is it, the combine harvester or forger? What is it, harvesting forager, I think is what it's called, or something like that. Harvesting combine. We'll do that. We'll buy the front attachment that we need. Technically, I can put any trailer on the back, I believe. And trailers aren't that expensive in the first place. Plus, with all the money I'm getting from grass, it'll, you know, be easy enough. Like, I know one thing I can do is I can grab the mower I have right there with the windrower. Just drive in circles for, you know, half an hour if I really wanted. And then just go collect the grass by driving over the line of grass clippings it leaves. But the issue is you know, it's a lot easier if it's in a field. But that's also why I want to get the bigger grass rower, because I believe if I did my math right, yeah, I need a seed tank. Hold up. So this does 7.3. So anything over 14.6. Ooh, actually, this won't catch everything. I guess I could, in theory, do a smaller one, but also it just needs to be a pull one. I believe there was another modded one that I think all I would do is I would change the price. But in theory, if I change it so that it only does 7, it should be able to put everything into one big pile for me. You know, it wouldn't be strictly necessary, but it's an option. Okay, that was dumb. That wasn't even my fault. It like hit the corner and was just like, oh, we're going left now. Yeah, we were collecting grass quicker than... Again, it'd be so much nicer if you could just, fill up using all 60. I know if I gave myself the unlimited strength mod that lets you pick up pallets, or even if I actually got the front-loading things for the John Deere tractor, I know you could technically throw it in and get it stuck into the forge wagon, and then you'd be able to fill up whenever. Yeah. You doing your stupid circles is what got you stuck and blocked by me. Yeah, harvester, 104,000 is the cheapest. I got rid of the modded one. I'm not going to use that one. So, you know, 104,000. We'll probably drop canola as our first thing. Because it's that, or we buy a forage thing. Although I will say this, I do know that if I buy the... I can buy poplar saplings, and then I think I need the tree planter. And I can plant the poplar saplings. I do know that is technically some of the better money in-game. Plus, I would be able to use that same forage harvester for grass for the rest of the year. And like I said, it holds, I think like even the cheapest one holds like 20,000. Yeah, the cheapest one holds like 20,000. The only difference is it costs almost $500,000 to buy the first cheapest one. And realistically, I believe I need this one. But it can hold a normal trailer in the back to throw stuff in, and the normal trailers are cheaper than the forge wagons, but I could just throw the forge wagon in the back and it fills it from the top. You know, so there are options available to me to make more money. It depends on how long I really want to save up money for. Because even if I want to argue it's about an hour per 100,000 or hour and a half per 100,000 from grass, it's like, okay, so I have to play for like another 8 hours at a minimum, we'll say, just harvesting grass. So that's like another like 2 in-game years, 3 in-game years potentially of just collecting grass to be able to do that. Or I can potentially swap over to canola and make, 2 to 3 times as much. Because I think base canola is... that could be considered, but... not that. Here's the prices. I forget canola's at the top. Yeah, base canola costs 10 times as much, but then the other problem with canola is that it's literally going to cost me more money. Long term. It's not necessarily a guaranteed margin for me. Because here's the other thing, like, if I were to go... I think it's the next thing, miscellaneous. Where's canola oil? Canola oil's worth 4 times as much, we'll say. Because I would probably save to sell it in November. But, like, okay, let's just say I do save it and sell it in November. I would still need to store it, which is probably doable. Even if I sold it at the best time in November here, it's like, it doesn't necessarily help me much. You can only harvest it once a year. Cotton would be better, but that's more specialized equipment. Although cotton is worth way, way more, and its swings aren't as big. And by swings, I just mean like between the lowest price and the highest price, it's not as large. Like, same thing with long grain rice. Oats isn't too terrible, but it's bigger than you would want. Same thing with olives. Parsnips should just not be done. Peas is a decent option. Again, the swing isn't that big. Potatoes, the swing isn't that big. And basically, I'm just going, okay, the lowest price to the highest price. In this case, it's 25%. I'm going to call it. So 25, or yeah, it's a 25% because it'll be $50. This one's not that bad. Normal rice isn't that bad. Now, normal rice also has other issues where you have to flood the field with water and whatnot, and you still technically need specialized equipment, although that's cheaper. Straw, that doesn't matter. Sugar beets don't care. Sugarcane don't care. Sunflowers is actually interesting because it seems like it's actually a high price every year, but I believe the month you harvest. Wheat's a decent price. Apples just have a stable price. Yeah, I believe if I were to do poplar, I could technically, make the different things, because what you do is, I believe there's a factory that you can get that technically what you're doing is you're making particle board, and then you're turning that particle board into wood planks or whatever other stuff you need, and then you're turning that stuff into furniture and whatnot. Which is essentially what they do in real life for certain things. Like, and you know, so like that would actually be better money, but like I said, like it's a bit higher base cost, but at the same time, it's not such a high base cost that it matters. Again, if we plowed the whole field and replanted everything, we could actually get a decent amount. Again, it might be worth plowing the whole field over. Maybe when the game is done mowing, I might swap to real time and buy the plow and just have the game do it. Although I would prefer to do it on the smaller field. Either way. Yeah, the game... Or actually, OBS dropped a whole bunch of frames at the beginning, but it's slowly evening itself out. It really does suck when it does that. It does suck that I had to restart the stream just because whatever was going on with the with my computer. I thought giving it a second would have fixed whatever the problem was, but it didn't, so I had to restart, which that's dumb. Oh well, I missed the spec. I don't care at this point. I think we're literally just going to be in the money at this point. Yeah, so we'll mow. I think what I might do is, because I might not necessarily play that long today, I might not upload this today, and I may upload tomorrow's stream together with this as one video instead. Actually, no, hold up. Tomorrow I can't do stuff. Or I can't play as long tomorrow, which is also like another reason why it would probably just be better to do things that way. I mean, it is what it is at that point, but I'd do it. I think it would just be smarter overall. Like I said, it might just be worth putting down another one. That would be 3,500 an hour. Yeah, 3,500 an hour. I probably wouldn't have to worry too much about collecting stuff. I'll buy buy gas the next time. Yeah, so I think we'll mow that. We'll collect all the grass from this whole little field right here because it'll be quicker. Plowing would also be easier. I think if I do that, I would just be better off. Yeah, I think buying the extra thing to go through the grass would probably be best. I think it's taking me a little under an hour, which is letting me build up a little bit extra grass per run through. Although I do believe that this field isn't providing me as much of a yield as the other field, so it's probably not going to be that big of an issue. Plus, I'm having to travel a bit further too. Oh, fog. I hate the fog in this game. I would turn it off, but I do like the weather effects. I just really hate how bad the fog gets sometimes. I'll collect my gas right now. Okay, yeah. Yes, the windrower probably doesn't necessarily matter too much. Like I said, the upgrade for this would only technically matter if when I buy more of the things. Collecting all the grass on this is so annoying. It's one of the reasons why I want to upgrade. Like I said, there would actually be a benefit to getting a bigger windrower. I might look in the modded section again, though, for a slightly bigger one. Because I would assume at 15 meters, it wouldn't matter. But the issue is before I was looking specifically for a front run, and now I need to look for a rear one. And then it needs to be like 100K. And obviously I can modify the files and whatnot. Like, that isn't even necessarily that big of a deal doing that. Considering I figured out how easy it is. Yeah, it's fine. It's only missing 1,000. There's really no point wasting time collecting that extra 1,000. Like, sometimes it is a waste of time to collect that extra little amount. Yeah, so the real question is do I want to get rid of the, or do I want to move the repair shop and the tent? Because I'm gonna have to replace them with the exact same thing, because that's just my thing. Like, I need to maintain those. Now, if I get a better house, and it still also has to cost more, I won't allow myself a quote-unquote better house by buying, like, the smallest home for, like, 2,000. It's like, no, 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 no. It's a $20,000 tent. You know, regardless of whether or not you want to call it a $20,000 tent, it's a $20,000 tent in the game. You know, if I replace it, I replace it with something that's worth more than $20,000. I will allow the constructible thing, but I have to provide all my own materials, which means I'd have to plant trees and whatnot. And as much as I don't think that would be a bad idea, I do know it is going to be very annoying to do. But again, I do know the poplars are very profitable. I do know a lot of people say that you need to plant them yourself, though, because the game leaves gaps, or likes to leave gaps. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going to the top and coming down. Just seems smarter. I do kind of prefer how I started this, just because I do know a lot of different YouTubers choose to start things in different ways. And as much as I don't necessarily mind some of like the hand tool mods in this game, some of them really aren't that great. Like, not to call them bad, they just aren't that great. I may opt to just collect this field and then call it a day, only because I want to get a workout in. And then, like I said, tomorrow, I know I can't stream that long. So like I said, I might just, I would decide after the fact, but I do want to at least stream for maybe another hour. Maybe just get to 3:30. Which would be like another 45-ish minutes. I think getting to 3:30 would be decent. Yeah, we're just gonna go from top to bottom. I just think it's gonna be more convenient to do that. Yeah, I don't know. If I had the next size up in Forge Wagon, I could probably do 2 full rows. Most of the time. You know, it would make things easier. Hmm. Yeah, you know what? I may just opt to do this one field and end it there. I still want to get a decent workout in today too, so I won't be able to do that later in the day. Yeah, you know what? I think that is what I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna combine today's stream, and if I do anything tomorrow, I'll combine it. If not, I'll just upload this tomorrow. The issue is I only stream when nobody is home. The only ones that could cause any sort of problems are the dogs. And the dogs are good dogs, so it's not really a big issue. They're potatoes most of the times. Yeah, I may or may not go through the effort of also having the now, I should probably get all of this fertilized and whatnot, so I will still wait for that to finish getting cut. I think it only has a couple more rows to go. Yeah, the normal AI helper is fine. I think you just, the course play helper is good when the game doesn't recognize a field that should be recognized as a field. Sometimes the game just seems to have issues recognizing that. It's funny, I don't necessarily realize how bright the screen actually is sometimes. but like, or how much brighter my tablet screen is set up to be. Because like on my monitor, I have it set up where, I mean, obviously it's not true black because I'm not, I missed it. Oh well. I don't have it set up to be like a true black or anything because I have a normal IPS screen. I don't have an OLED. But like I do have the brightness set to be like decently low. So it's just funny how I can do this and I can give it a second, and when it pops up on my tablet, and my tablet's only like, I don't know, like maybe a foot closer to me. It's just like, ooh, that's bright. And it's not even necessarily that it's like actually bright. It's just like, it's just a lot brighter than my screen. Just gonna fill up on this. I mean, there's really no point to not have full due to what it provides. Okay, so now I can buy the plow, and I can re-plow the fields. I could technically lime the fields too. Yeah, I'd be able to plow the field, I'd be able to lime the field, I'd be able to fertilize probably twice. I just don't know if I'd be able to collect all the grass in time. Like, it's funny, like, that's what I care about. Like, I care more about collecting all the grass in time because, you know, it is a really big incentive for me. It is, like, a good chunk of money that I'd be losing out on. I don't necessarily want to be losing out on money. Money makes the world go round, don't you know? And it must be true. There's no other reason for the world to be in so much debt. Oh, it's that one I wanted to collect. Ah. Yeah, I think I definitely need at least one more. And the question is do I have it go one further back so that there's one more? Or do I do it where it's one further in? Two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna say there's at least 14 more rows of 20,000 to collect at a minimum. And if that's the case, and every 20,000 is 700, there's gonna be what, almost 100,000 more dollars to collect. So I'll have 160 once everything gets processed, roughly. So yeah, I think I will just finish collecting this field. Tomorrow I will collect that field, plow the field. So I might even make sure that I finish this day before midnight. And then maybe I will swap to real time. I will cut down this whole field. potentially collect all the grass, because I do know I can take advantage of the grass. But I'd be able to buy almost everything I need tomorrow with just this. Because again, I just need this harvester. Technically, I can just go with the cheapest grain head. You know, 6 meters. 6 meters is fine. You know, I don't necessarily need to go to 15.2 meters. You know, I don't have to go to insane numbers. Yeah, I think by not collecting everything at once, I think I'm like only very slowly filling up the other thing. Yeah, so I should hopefully be, by the time I'm done collecting all the grass and it gets processed, I should have like 160,000 at a minimum. I would assume. So that would actually be decent money to start what I need to do. Now then, technically I have two options. I could get more greenhouses. I don't necessarily care about the auto selling, but like I would actually prefer to like for some of these, like I would prefer if there was either there was a bigger monthly or hourly cost. Because sometimes it just seems really low. Yeah, this truckload wasn't gonna fit, and then it did. Yeah, so with 160,000, I can buy this. Like I said, I'll just buy the cheapest grain head. So that gives me 30,000 to do other stuff. I almost don't necessarily care about damaging the head at all. I can afford to repair it or replace it. Probably replace it. Definitely replace it. Would I be able to? This is actually something I would need to know. Okay, yeah, because canola season's in a few months too. So actually, yeah, no, that would be perfect. So what I'll do, can't plant anything right now. I think technically I can plant oilseed radish. Actually, if I need to go through and do all of the collecting and stuff again, because like literally like just thinking about it for a moment, I think that's on its last row, which will be perfect. Like, so think about this for a moment. I have to wait 1, 2, 3, 4, or no, 1, 2, 3. I have to wait 3 months to do it. I think I'm gonna expand the field for this one. I think I'm gonna have 3 main fields. I think I'm gonna extend this one and the one on the other side that way. And I think I'm gonna make both of them larger and wider. Because if I start doing stuff at midnight, it's like perfect for the day. So I may just upgrade them slightly. You know, and then I'll use the plow to make their field size the same. And then I'll probably use Courseplay to fully have the plow go through and do everything for me. Okay, the other AI workers completed their task. It's probably going to be smarter if I have them mow the field because I could mow it one more time, even if it's for less yield. Okay, we do that. That'll fertilize. We'll swap it over to lime when it's done. We'll swap it to fertilizer that afterwards. Ooh, hold up. Okay, good. The fertilizer from last time is taking effect. Yeah, I think I need to fully plow, and then I need to fully replant seeds. And then I think I'll have everything I need for the game to recognize certain things. It may also be possible that whatever is fertilizing needs the precision farming mod thing that I can attach to the front where it scans everything. Because I believe Courseplay and precision farming work together pretty well. Or at the very least, it is my understanding of things that they work together pretty well. So I'm not going to have the 160,000, but like I said, this is more so I needed to know how fertilized that is, and yeah, that's making good progress. Once it's halfway across, I'll know how good of a progress it's made with fertilizing. Yeah, because basically, like, what it's passing right now is like the start of a bad spot where it's under 100. Nope, still under 100, but it went from 70 to about 75. That's actually not that bad. And I believe that was double fertilized. Like I said, I'm pretty sure what I need to do is I technically need to completely redo the field by plowing it. And then I believe I need to grab a, like I might honestly go through and grab a stone picker to collect all the stones and stuff. Just to reduce repair costs, but like realistically, like it doesn't affect the yields at all, so I realistically shouldn't care. So it becomes a question of what I should really be doing. Some people don't understand how certain things work. With home titles, they really don't get it. There's a reason why home title fraud is a thing. It's like, oh, if you have the home title insurance, you're fine. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. The home title insurance just means you don't have to pay the legal bills if somebody steals your title for your home. You can have your title locked down perfectly, and it doesn't change the fact that somebody can steal the title of your home if they have the correct information. Heck, a lot of times they don't technically need the correct information because the people who work for the county's assessor's office and stuff don't check it. Their job isn't to check the paperwork and make sure things are correct. Their job is to, hey, did this paperwork have a payment attached to it? Yes. Okay, we file it. You know, it gets sent to a different department that just assumes it's correct, and then they, put it to the public record, or it goes to, I believe it might go to like one other department that just, that goes through and checks, or not necessarily checks things, but just make sure that the paperwork is filled out correctly. They don't check the paperwork. You know, in the home title company, what they do is they have a deal with the assessor's office where every time there is an update, so basically that final step, anytime there is an update, they get that information. Who knows how much they're paying a month. But basically, it's just extra email or something that gets sent to the home title insurance company. And then, if something is wrong, they go through the process of getting it fixed right away. But even still, it's like, okay, that's technically 30 days after your home title's been changed. Like, there's a reason why there's been court cases about it recently. And the problem is it doesn't matter what you do. All the wrong information can be given to them for the court assessor's office or the county assessor's office. Keep that in mind. All the wrong information can be given to them, and they will still transfer your home title to somebody else. And then it can still take you months to get it back, even if they agree they did the wrong thing. Because the problem is they need to prove that you didn't do it. Well, why would you be upset if you didn't do it? Some people literally, I think like there was literally a case like over a year ago where I believe they got an eviction notice on their home for not paying. I think it was technically a reverse mortgage. I want to say that's what it was. Or reverse mortgage, second mortgage on the house, same difference in my opinion. It can equate to the same thing. I mean, technically speaking, they are the same thing. The only difference is how the payment process works. A reverse mortgage, you're borrowing against your house typically to do, or no, the reverse mortgage is you're taking the equity of your home, but what you're technically doing is you're selling your home. That day you get the money from the reverse mortgage company, whoever it may be. Whether it's your bank or a different company in its entirely. What you're legitimately doing is you're selling your home today, but they're going to let you live in it for as long as you're alive. The title isn't allowed to change or anything because technically they own the title. And then once whoever owns the home passes away, You either pay them back the money you borrowed from them, and I believe in most cases there isn't interest associated with it. You either pay back the money that was borrowed, or they get the home. Again, I believe there isn't typically any interest associated with it, but I could be wrong about that. I only know from a couple of different people that have dealt with it that there wasn't interest involved. Like, I want to say it was like $250,000 was borrowed in or was gotten from a reverse mortgage, and they only had to pay back I want to say it was like only like an extra $5,000. Like, it's literally like a nothing cost. It's literally like, hey, we lend out this money, you know, hopefully in the next decade, the person passes away, and then we just have to hope they don't have the money, and if they don't have the money, we get the house, and, we can profit, hundreds of thousands of dollars. If not, we get like $5,000. Or, something ridiculous. Like I said, like, it might have just been their specific case. They got a really good deal on it or something. So I'm not necessarily going to be like, oh, it's only this much. But, they've got a reverse mortgage. Like, this isn't financial advice. This is just my understanding of what they are. But, like, a lot of people don't understand. Like, you get a reverse mortgage, and basically it's just the reverse mortgage company is entitled to your title. If you can't pay them back. And then if you got a second mortgage, same thing with a normal mortgage. You don't pay them back, and you're paying them back monthly. They're entitled to the home to sell it to get their money back. But, anybody could make a claim to your home, get the title put in their name, get a mortgage out against the home, and then, like I said, like, there was this one court case where, they got, they were getting evicted from their home for not paying back a reverse mortgage. It's like, well, it's not in my name, and I have all of my paperwork and everything. Well, it doesn't matter. The title got transferred to somebody else. I want to say, when they dug into it, it's like, it wasn't even the person's signature. It was, somebody else's. They knew it was somebody else's because it was the complete wrong signature. And, like, not only was it like the wrong signature, like, they had recently want to say the case was like they had recently like just sold a part of the part of their land to the city, so they had like a complete updated signature and everything. Oh, okay, that's full. So it was one of those things where, like, it shouldn't have happened, but, it did. Ooh. Ooh. Why? Why, game? Why? Okay, hold up. I'm gonna get to like 160,000. I need to remember that. I'm gonna get to like 160,000 from all the soilage. Okay, I get to 160,000. So I only need another 80,000. 160. 160. Yeah, so I need another 80,000. I think I sell this. Like, I think I sell the tractor I'm using right now, because all of a sudden it makes more sense to sell the tractor. Well, hold up. I can sell the forge wagon. I don't technically need the forge wagon anymore. If I do that. If I buy the thing. So I don't technically need the forge wagon, so I only need to make up another 60,000. So I would sell both of those. I would still need a way to get money, because I would also need to buy The mowing header, but that's only 25,000. Ooh, this has just changed everything. I can sell the John Deere trailer. You have no idea how much that just changed that popped up. Ooh. What am I doing? What am I doing? You just stop wasting time. I still need this to drop off. I need this to spread lime. I'm just not even going to worry about that bottom field, though. When originally I was going to do the bottom field, I'm not going to do the bottom field anymore. It doesn't make sense to. It really doesn't make sense for me to do lime, but lime costs so little, I'm not that concerned about the price. Yeah, lime costs so cheap. It's not, it doesn't really have a cost. I could also sell the fertilizer thing right now, because I can technically get a smaller one and just deal with the smaller size. Ooh, but that changes so much. I kind of want to keep the large tractor because it is expensive. But I don't technically need the forge wagon going forward. I don't need the windrower. I don't need the other thing. I don't need the forge wagon. I don't need the front mower. I don't need the tractor that's using both of those. Because, like, I literally just replaced 3 things with that. So I can sell all of that. I can sell the John Deere. Again, I can sell the fertilizer thing, and I'll just buy it back later. That would be, like, one of the few things where, like, it would probably just be worth doing that. Because, literally, everything I need is just in that forge mower now. Or the forge harvester. So, yeah, I collect this field. Like I said, I believe in theory the math ends up being 100. Like, actually, realistically, I could probably just get rid of all of this and just use the forge wagon for grass. And then I would just need to buy something for fertilizer, and then I can buy a trailer later to make things easier on me. I do know its top speed is slow. Like, its top speed is 24. And it will be worse for cutting grass. I do believe there are different headers that I can get from mods that I believe when I was looking made actual sense to get. But basically, you know, starting with the cheapest thing, it's like, okay, yeah, so it's like 20,000. Like, it literally replaces 3 things. It might actually technically replace 4 things because I believe, yeah, I can technically have it fertilized too. Yeah, buying this literally would change everything. Like, well, actually, I probably would want the longer pipe. And then I don't necessarily need the better engine right away. And then I think just get the wider tires because of the price. Yeah, like literally that changes everything if I can afford to get it, and I can. I know I can. Yeah, I don't necessarily care too much about the lime. Like I said, its cost isn't necessarily that big of a deal to me. Like, yeah, sure, you know, costs add up with it, but shouldn't be that big of a deal. Also, I might have had the prices in my head wrong. That I think about it, it's 20,000, 14 lines. So it's technically 28,000. or 280,000, right? Yeah. And every 1,000 is 7, so it was like 70. No, I think I had that right. I think it was. There's no way it's just straight up 10,000, because I've already gotten more than that. I might do some math on my phone, but I could technically afford it, and technically I could use it to replace pretty much all of my stuff. And then I think I showed a minute ago that a normal trailer, you know, it's 100,000 for basically the same thing as the Forge Wagon that I had. And I believe it literally works the same way as the Forge Wagon for dumping stuff. So, like, I could literally replace my whole operation with it. And it would affect me very little. The only thing is I wouldn't be able to collect this grass right now, I don't think, because I don't believe it collects grass that's on the ground. I think it would technically need to be a Forge Wagon. That would probably be like the only caveat that is gonna exist for it. Yeah, so I could easily buy it. So, like, I obviously don't necessarily want to sell this, but, like, I could literally sell all of my tractors. Well, you know, so that's 100,000. And, like, yes, it's kind of a waste because, like, I did, you know, kind of mess some things up. But like I said, like, it replaces the Forge Wagon straight up. It replaces the mower. It replaces the windrower. And it replaces all of those things at once. Like, I can technically keep the Forge Wagon for a little bit. So, let's just say I have 180,000. I'm just gonna call that 190 for right now. I will keep the John Deere at the moment, I guess, because it's saying it's worth more than this one. I might just need to fix this one, and it might be worth more, but, you know, we'll sell the John Deere, I guess. Honestly, I'd also prefer to keep the slightly more powered up one anyhow. So, you know, we'll sell the John Deere. So we go from 190,000 roughly to 240. And then we've already said we don't need the front mower. And the front mower basically pays for the mower for it. But even still, like, that would pay for it. And if we sold the fertilizer thing, we should, yeah. Like, we might be good already as is. I don't want to risk it. I would rather collect all the grass for the day. But it is nuts that I might actually have decent money. Or just enough money to buy it and the mower. And like I said, I don't necessarily want to sell the Forge Wagon right away because the Forge Wagon may be necessary. Also, why do I feel like it's missing spots? Like, I have the trailer upgraded all the way. Yeah, now, obviously, I don't necessarily want, I would basically, if I did that, 750, I think the mailman just showed up. I think think it's the mailman. Hold up. I think it was the mailman. Yeah, mailman dropping stuff off. We'll grab that in a minute. I will say this with the grass, though. I do feel much less stressed out about dropping stuff off, knowing that everything is going to one spot, and that one spot is distributing it to the other spots. Much less stress involved. Oh, you know what? I never... Okay, yeah, everything is going up, it looks like. Yeah, because 100,000 is going into this. I think I could have left it at... I think the silos in-game, the cheapest ones anyways. Like, I think I probably could have had this at 150,000 and been okay with it for the $100,000 price, but considering I'm also having it transfer to these four, I think it being stuck at 100,000 is a good price for it. Or a good amount for it anyways. I really both love and hate how lucky I've been on the for sale stuff. Because realistically, I have a little while before I actually have to do it. I can probably collect all this grass. I can probably collect the grass on the next field, because I probably have tomorrow at midnight before it gets sold in-game. So, like, I'm probably good on being able to collect all this grass to get all that extra money. So I may want to wait for the tractor to stop dropping off lime, but I may quickly do some napkin math, because basically I need 270,000 for it to make sense. Like I said, and the only reason why I'd be buying it is because typically I'd have to spend an extra $200,000 for it. So it makes total sense to save that money. Like, even with the tractor I'm using right now, it's like I saved $100,000 by buying it when I bought it, and it did make things easier and better for me. It's just a question of what I lost to get it, but it ended up working itself out. It's just, you know, I probably would have been better off not getting it and just getting this instead at the time, because it would have sped things up much more. So I'm just going to use my calculator real quick. I'm going to put my money at 72,000. It's 120,000 for the tractor. It's plus 7,000 for the windrower. Again, I'm not going to sell this right now just because it is still a decent amount of storage. I am going to call it 36,000 for the John Deere. Oh, I accidentally didn't hit plus. So again, 72,000 plus 112,000 plus 35,000 plus 7,000 plus 33,000. Okay, yeah. So we have a 279,000 at the moment, not including any grass that's inside making soilage at the moment. And that's not including selling the forge wagon at the moment either. That is just assuming that I sell all the stuff that I can for sure replace, because I can't for sure replace the forge wagon at the moment. Just because I would need to I could use it as it is, because I can basically just use it as a trailer. I don't actually have to use it as a forge wagon itself, because the thing is the forge harvester is literally going to pick up all of the stuff and put it in its storage, and it can just have it dump it into the forge wagon storage. So yes, it makes perfect sense for me not to collect anything at all. Yeah, why does it keep like missing rows? I don't have it set up to skip rows or anything, do I? It shouldn't need to either. It's doing, 15 feet or meters on either side of it. Sorry, I forgot what. I'm pretty sure it's using meters, but I'm just gonna have to not care at the moment and leave it alone. But yeah. Wonder what it is doing wrong. Yeah, because like it's very clear, like right here, how it's like missed stuff. Okay. Besides the fact that I need to move you. One. Yeah, you don't. Whatever. Let me just get you out of the way. Again, I'm probably just gonna sell the John Deere just because, although that one is just because the John Deere is worth more, but I could technically also sell the other tractor. Please, game. Just let me move this. Yeah, and it's missing this edge right here. What the heck is wrong with it? It's possible those spots don't technically need lime, but still. Oh yeah, also this needs to not be here. Okay, you might be sold, so I'm literally just gonna stick you right here. I could probably afford to be walking that far at the moment just because I'm waiting for grass to be processed, but still. Yeah, the cost of wages and stuff going out also doesn't necessarily affect my cause on making money, but like I said, I'm pretty sure I have more than enough. The worst thing that I'll have to sell at the moment seems to be I'll have to sell the thing for the fertilizer, but like I said, like I have time to sell all of this stuff because I don't need to worry about it until it's like in one of these two spots, so I probably still have a little while, several more hours at least, so I can collect more grass. Worst case scenario, I do sell any tractors. Obviously, I would prefer not to sell my big beefy tractor. You know what, whatever. I'd prefer not to sell it just because it is, my best tractor. But like I said, upgrading to the forge harvester literally changes everything for me because I'm replacing like 4 other things all at once. I believe the headers don't actually matter. Actually, I guess I can technically do that. No. By the way, I'm pretty sure like the headers don't technically matter. Yeah, it's the very first one. And there isn't even a one for it, so if I could save, if all the grass I could collect could save up an extra 65,000, that would be perfect. Basically, I need to be able to sell stuff for 240 or 230,000 right now. Which again, I believe I still technically have the money for. I just wouldn't have any tractors at all. I could also technically sell my greenhouse. It is making me 5,000 a month, but like if I really just need that extra little bit of money, it is also an option. You know, the greenhouse isn't something that has to stay. It is just such a big upgrade overall, because technically it also lets me collect twice as much stuff. Because what would happen is you, I believe you can just keep the thing out for dumping stuff. Now, technically, it also means that I'm not going to be able to plow anything for a while, because I'm not going to be able to afford the plow. I'm definitely not selling the cedar thing for like the 4th or 5th time at this point. Like, the worst possible thing to pop up popped up at one time. You know, because I could sell all of this. Again, I could sell this tractor if I really needed to for that extra little bit of money. You know, because I don't technically need any tractors. This one's also a relatively cheap one at only needing 60,000 to buy one, or like 70,000 to buy one. So it's relatively cheap. Basically, collect one field's worth. And I would rather sell this tractor than sell the fertilizer thing. Just because the fertilizer thing, although I believe because of its the upgrade costs like a little bit. How much water does this have? Might technically be worth doing that. You know what? I can actually afford to wait a minute. Now that I think about it. I not get to see the number. Oh, actually, no. I can go collect everything willy-nilly at the moment. If I didn't fertilize, I'd actually be better off because I wouldn't have spent like an extra $20,000, I believe, on fertilizer. Like, you know, like I said, the lime I don't necessarily care about as much. The fertilizer I do, though. So I probably have close to $200,000 in just grass. Or $200,000 in vehicles I could easily sell. You know, so I have 180 in just my tractors. So actually, I think I have more than enough. Most likely. But at this point, I need to collect this grass and I need to collect the grass from the other field. I would just feel more comfortable if I could sell all of it and then have the forage wagon, and if I could have it with the best header, that'd be great. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy it, and if it needs to be a specific header, what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy it, I'm going to save, I'm going to buy the best header, the $70,000 one. for cutting grass. Because basically that doesn't cut down on the amount of grass I'm cutting anyways at the moment. And then what I'll do is I would save up money to just completely replace the forge wagon, because again, I don't technically need it at all at that point. You know, the forge wagon is just because the mowers leave the grass in the ground. Well, the thing is with the forge wagon, although I believe there is an option for it to just dump the grass or not collect it at all, I believe its base option is to collect everything. Now, the one thing that is going to blow about this whole thing, though, is that I will literally not be able to, or I almost won't really be playing the game, because I would probably be letting the AI do most of the mowing and whatnot. Which is probably like the only thing I don't necessarily want to be doing. And then you might be arguing, it's just like, well, then don't do it, because you don't have to let the AI mow stuff. It's like, yeah, but all I would be doing is I would just need to set it up. Like I said, I believe I can do it in course play, where it just goes one way for a little bit, and then it goes back the other way, and it collects everything. Again, I just need to know if it moved. Again, it is very important if it moves. Although realistically, it doesn't matter. I kind of need to buy it by the end of this day anyways, because of the grass situation, because I have to wait to collect more grass unless I collect it manually myself. Obviously, I don't necessarily want to do that. It's why I set up fields in the first place, so the AI worker can help me do some of this stuff. But since I'll literally just be using one machine, there would almost be no point in me doing stuff for a while. Like, why would I want to do stuff at all? Like, if you think about it realistically. Yeah, I believe if I set up course play properly, though, what the forge wagon would do is it would literally mow, and then what it would do is once it's full, it would automatically go and drop off the grass, and then it would automatically go back to mow back more grass from where it was, and it would automatically do that for me. And I could have it be collecting like 70,000 at a time, I believe. Okay, either way, we'll collect all of this. Yeah, it just sucks that I won't be able to plow the fields and try to fix the fields themselves. I'll literally have to deal with it for a while. Like, at least 2 more streams because of this. And again, I don't need to upgrade to it. The issue is that it is too good of an upgrade to not upgrade to it. Also, where am I going? I need to go back down. I should have just automatically turned right away. Again, I have more than enough money. I have several thousand more dollars. Like, my goal is to not have to sell one of the tractors. Like, I'll just make that clear. My goal is to not have to sell one of the tractors. I'm cool with selling the John Deere one, though, even though it's the only one that I think that one and this one can do front loading, but, like I said, selling this one doesn't necessarily seem worth it. Selling the John Deere one doesn't exactly seem worth it. I think if I told the game every 7 meters, it would actually be able to collect everything. But I know that's also one of the reasons why you would want to swap over to forge stuff, is because it doesn't leave anything on the ground that doesn't need to be on the ground already as is. Okay. We'll drop this off. Like, I don't even necessarily know how much I care about collecting the other lines, like I said. But I could fertilize stuff. Again, I'm going to prioritize just picking up all the rest of the grass, which I originally wasn't planning on doing. I was planning on already working out, but, you know, stuff happens, I guess. Which sucks, which means I probably need to work out tomorrow, but, not going to be able to work out tomorrow because family's going to be home early, and they don't like all the workout equipment inside the house. Which is a pain because it also means that, yes, I am in fact moving all the workout equipment inside the house to work out. Because it's outside. And you might be saying, oh, like, why don't you work out outside? I can't work out outside because one of the dogs can't be trusted alone inside. And when they are left alone, they get sad. You can't have that. I mean, heck, they're barely trusted in their own little area. I do let them out quite a bit, but like right now, like I don't have them out just because they I'd have to keep them closed in the room, and the other dogs do not get along with them. You know, the vicious Chihuahua does not like the pit bull. The poor pit bull. She just wants to play and have fun, and the Chihuahua just doesn't want anything to do with it. The other dog doesn't really want anything to do with it, but she is more playful with them. You know, but the issue is the other dog is still much smaller than the pit bull. The other dog fits under the pit bull's legs and stuff, so it's just like, you know, they want to rough house and play. That isn't gonna work. We know who's winning that fight. The Chihuahua. Which is funny because, yes, the Chihuahua does in fact win the fights. When we got the pit bull, the Chihuahua was only when we got the pit bull, only a little bit bigger than the Chihuahua. The puppy remembers. Yeah, I want to buy it. Like I said, I'm gonna sell all the grass. Again, try not to have to sell a tractor. I'm okay. I would prefer not to sell either one of the other tractors because I would prefer to keep the John Deere and what are at the very least I want to keep the other one. I don't necessarily care too much about the John Deere one. But if I could keep both, I'd prefer to keep both. Because it means that there'd be other things that I could do. Actually, yeah, if I did keep both, how much? Sit down. Now it's up. How much? Well, for this one, 170. Okay, yeah. So I keep the bigger of the two, and that would let me plow the field. Yeah. So I think for sure I'm selling the John Deere. I think there isn't a world where I keep it at the moment. But again, I'd prefer to keep both. I'd prefer to also keep the fertilizer thing. Because it's... What is it? It's 140... Oh, no, it's almost 150,000 between this tractor and the John Deere one. So we'll keep keeping that in mind. It's almost 150,000. Which actually means I think by the time we get through the rest of the grass, we'd have more than enough. And then between the mower, the weed rower, and then collecting the rest of this. Yeah, I think by the time I'm done collecting the rest of this, we will definitely have more than enough money. Actually, I think I should just start collecting all of it. Again, because the issue is that more than half of this isn't good soil, so I have to completely redo it. So yeah, I think making this a field, I'd be able to upgrade. So yeah, no, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I'm actually really excited about actually being able to get up to a $400,000 machine, even though I'm only spending half that much. Like I said, like, you know, getting lucky with what pops up here is nice, especially when what pops up here is something that will actually be a major benefit. Yeah, if I could upgrade those more, that'd be great. Yeah, it's probably also a good thing I didn't opt to put down 4 more of them, because I definitely wouldn't be able to afford it at that point. Because I'd be $40,000 less. And even though technically it's like, oh, but you'd be collecting more money. It's like, yeah, I'd be collecting more money, but the issue is that doesn't change the fact how quickly I'm collecting it collecting the grass is. Did my stream stop for a minute? Yeah, I think it stopped and restarted. Sorry, hold up. Sorry, reloading. Yeah, it stopped and restarted. Yeah, it's a good thing I'm recording it. Sorry, I'm not going to deal with the echo of myself. I hear myself talk enough. I don't need it. It's like I hear myself talk enough. I don't need my tablet also giving me my voice back. Oh, I did miss some. It's like I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I really do care. I care a lot. I don't necessarily care about that piece. Yes, the extra brights. Yeah, we'll keep collecting everything. I probably could have went into the other tractor and picked up the other thing, which I don't necessarily want to sell, but could sell if I need to. I'd probably prefer to sell the cedar for like the 5th time this run than I would a tractor, but like I said, I don't think I need to with this one. I think I'm actually good. Now then, I would really prefer to keep this tractor if I can. Because this tractor is great. I just prefer the extra speed it has when it's not working. You know, we collect this grass, we collect the grass from the other path pack. You know, not having to deal with windrows going forward will be good. Yeah, stuff is being sold now. I have to be cautious. Is the issue is it's not always a guarantee that the first thing in the list gets sold. Or gets removed even. I know there was a mod that made it so that you could refresh that, but I do think that that mod is not helpful. Like, regardless of the cost to, you know, search for stuff, like, I feel like it's not helpful in the sense that, you know, not every farmer is going to be selling equipment for, like, regardless of whether or not the farmers sell the equipment, like, that's a little besides the point. Like, but no farmer is going to be like, oh yeah, let's just sell it to sell it. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll ask their neighbors, or their neighbors will ask their neighbors and whatnot. Are the guy who goes to like the fairs and whatnot sells stuff. It like, you know, most farmers prefer to sell it to other farmers that may or may not need it. Now that I say may or may not, just because, you know, certain farmers do prefer extra machines, or they prefer older machines, or it'll be a brand that they prefer. You know, it could be any number of things realistically, but yeah, I want to say I have at least until noon at the latest. Yeah, I would really prefer not to have to sell this tractor if it could be avoided. Now, again, I'd prefer to keep the seeder and the fertilizer, so that's like 50K that can't be, that I don't get access to. The John Deere I don't care about. Actually, let's do that now. Yeah, I should have sold it yesterday. Yeah, John Deere, don't care about. John Deere can definitely go. The windrower can definitely go. The mower can definitely go. Yeah, the only thing that's going to screw me over now is if it gets sold. Okay, actually, that's a lot less than I thought it was. But that's still 36,000. And then we're keeping this just because it is technically a trailer. So if I sold this, I'd have to somehow make 40,000, which I don't think I'm doing. Yes, I think I have to sell it. I have to sell it. Now then, I will be waiting a couple of months, actually, to collect stuff, so I don't have to buy the header right away, because I don't think I can technically afford it. But I think once I sell all my grass, I should hopefully be able to. Again, I don't want to have to sell this if I don't have to, but I think I'm going to have to just be able to afford the header. Because otherwise I have to sell... You know what, like, let me just do my basic math real quick. 28,000... Now it's 28,000 wages an hour. Oh, no, hold up. That's not right. Is it? Am I getting $5,000 an hour from soilage? I don't think so. I think it's... No, hold up. I think I have it done wrong. I think it's... No, because it's... You know what? Never mind. I think I am misremembering some prices. And that might be messing with me. So it's 78,000. That was 16 hours. Hold up. Yeah, I'm getting like almost 5,000 an hour. I need to go this way. So I'm getting like 5,000 an hour. I definitely keep the other. I can definitely try keeping this tractor, but I don't think I can. Well, there's a way that I can, but I don't want to do it. I would basically be starting from scratch. I'd have this tractor and I'd have the other machine, but I wouldn't have the mower. So it's just like that doesn't make sense. Yeah, I had to put it. I need to double check prices now. Hold up. Soilage is 120. Yeah, I had my numbers all wrong. It's per 6,000. It's per 6,000. It's 700. Okay, so we make almost 30,000 soilage an hour. And because it is 700 per 6,000 soilage. Okay, yeah, I had my math totally wrong. I was remembering it completely wrong. Because I was remembering it from the little mower. It's like, oh yeah, it's every full thing, it's like $100 if it's grass, or $200 if it's grass, but it's 700 if it's this. But I was remembering it as like, oh yeah, I wasn't remembering that I was collecting 6,000 at a time. Okay, yeah, no, so I have my math completely wrong. So yeah, we get like 28. And if I divide that by 6,000, and then I can time that by 700, we're getting like 3,200 an hour. From just from the grass to the soilage and everything, not including other costs. I could also be like a little bit wrong. I think we might be doing a little bit more than 2,800 an hour, but I'm not going to double check. All I know is it's roughly 7,000 an hour, and it's better to have an under amount than an over amount. Yeah, I think I can collect all this grass, but I don't think it does a big enough dent. Like, I'm gonna assume I have till about 10 o'clock. And like even if it's, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I can collect. It's probably at least 4 more runs back and forth to collect everything. So it was like we'll know everything by noon, roughly. Like it's just not gonna be enough to not have to sell this tractor. Like all it's really gonna be is it's gonna be enough to buy the biggest mower attachment, which will definitely improve my efficiency for mowing by quite a bit too. I'm just gonna go back. Yeah, well, I do know that that machine will do enough. Yeah, because the issue is the only other way for me to get a mower is I buy the little like $5,000 one and collect stuff. And for that to make sense, I'd have to go switch over to real time. Just because it's going to take so much longer to do stuff. Or just to make sure that I have stuff supplied. Like, I probably don't necessarily need to be on real time, but like, I definitely will be playing on like 5 times speed instead. If I don't sell this tractor. You know, that's assuming there's enough grass for me to not have to only be able to sell the other one to buy the other thing. It's just like, no, like I definitely need to sell this tractor. I don't think there's a way I don't sell this tractor unless I sell the forge wagon, which I can definitely do after I finish collecting all of this, because the other one won't be dropping any grass. But I want to keep the forge wagon because it'll be double storage capacity. So it'll be able to mow 2 rows and have full storage every single time. So it just makes sense not to sell this right away. Or if I sell it, I sell it for a bigger trailer. And you know what? I think I need to call my dad. I think... Or no, was his birthday yesterday? Ooh, I probably should do that. I should remember to do that. Do that afterwards. Yeah, I think I'm gonna spend like the next 15 minutes collecting the rest of the grass, and then I think I'm gonna call it. No, it's sold! Hold up. No, it just saved! Oh, hold up. I now need to go into the backups real quick. thought I had a couple of extra seconds. Hold up my documents. Where's my games? So, when's the newest one? Oh, does it not? I should have just bought it. Oh, that ruined everything. I knew that that was gonna happen. I should have just bought it. And I already sold a bunch of stuff too. I'll rephrase it. I sold stuff I shouldn't have sold. That's really BS. I hate when it does that, when it sells, you know, not the first thing. I should have just bought it. I should have just bought it. I shouldn't have been waiting. I should have just bought it. That is heartbreaking. I almost want to not even necessarily reset the day. I thought it saved things where there was like a backup of like a day, but like I'm looking at this now and it's not. It's like every time you make a save game, like even if you delete it, it maintains it or whatever. Like it maintains the save data. Like even if you use the same game save location. Oh, that sucks. I knew I should have just bought it. Oh, that ruins everything. Now that I don't necessarily care about the John Deere tractor, that one's just kind of a hit and miss. I only lost $10,000, but like, oh, that literally it just ruined everything. That just ruined my day. Ugh. And I was literally just like, oh, like I'm just gonna sell it and I'm just gonna buy it right now, and then it's gone. Now, literally, what I need to do is I just need to buy the plow and I just need to plow the field and I just need to make it canola. Because at this point, I've already wasted the money. Like, that's the problem. At this point, I've already wasted so much money by selling stuff. Like, you don't understand. Like, that was like $40,000-$50,000. I just need to buy the plow. I need to plow all the fields and just make them canola, and then I'll just skip forward days at this point because there was no point for me doing anything else. Yeah, and then even still, what I'm gonna have to do is to do that even. Hold up, I I went down. So like I'm gonna buy the $104,000 one. I'm gonna buy the cheapest one because that's what I would need to do. Probably. Five. Yeah, no, like I would probably just stick with the cheapest header, the cheapest, smallest header too, because there's really no point in upgrading past that. Yeah, that ruined my day that got sold when it got sold right as I was about to just do it I was literally just be like, I'll just drop this off and I'm gonna sell it and I'll switch the tractors. And then I go and I check and it's sold. And it is the third one. These two should have sold first. Like I almost wish there was a countdown on them because or even if it was like a percent chance, like forget countdown, like percent chance that it gets sold in the next hour. Oh, because that just kind of like that ruins everything. Like I need to now buy this and buy the header, and that's 140,000. I need to spend the 50,000 on the plow. I don't technically need to keep the plow, but actually no, I think I technically need to keep the plow because I think I have to plow the field each time, or I need to replant right away. Okay, yeah, no, there's like, I believe if I'm not in it, it also, it fills up and just drops off water. Like, at this point, like, I would rather just fill this all up with water and literally just skip forward days and just check the sales thing until it pops up again. And just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna collect like $5,000 a month. And I'm just gonna check it for that again. Oh, that is so ridiculous. Yeah, I was gonna say it's like as much as I like don't necessarily mind this filling up all the way. I was gonna say like I could put down like 4 more of these. Actually, no, I literally could. I could put down I think 4 more of these for 160,000. I think this one's leveled up to like 2, right? I think it's level 2. I'm just gonna do this. Yeah, it's leveled up to tier 2. Like I could put down like 4 more of these and make, like $25,000 a month for doing nothing. I don't necessarily want to be doing that. Like I'd prefer to be doing something. But that ruined my day. That really did. I was literally just like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna check if it's still there. I'm just gonna buy it right now. Typically, it would have probably been good till noon. I probably would have had enough time to collect all the grass. That ruined everything. Like, at this point, I either get a different way to cut grass, which there is no a better way to do it at the moment either, which sucks. Yeah, I need a different way to cut the grass. And I already have the best way to cut grass, or the best way for me to cut grass anyways. Yeah, like if that popped up, that would have been good too. I don't think any of the forge mowers or anything. You know what? I'm gonna save here, and I'm gonna look at the mods for like the next couple of minutes because that's That's devastating for me. I was literally about to be able to make progress that I don't think I'd be able to match for a while. What is the cheapest forge, or not the cheapest, but let's like, what is a good one that isn't like overpowered or anything? 650,000. Okay, that's, what's this do? Okay, actually, I don't think that this is that bad, although I would probably increase the price like a decent amount if I were to use that. $60,000. Is there something different? Half a mil. I didn't check this one. 300. Two. It bails. It apparently does cotton, and I think the other thing is something else. Yeah, okay, maybe not that one. Little one. I don't necessarily want it to be that little. Like, and I know that technically speaking, like, these aren't necessarily that little in, like, actual size, just in, like, in terms of, like, what I would have been getting. 100,000. Yeah, this has broken capacity. I'd have to literally go in and change that. Or is it a broken capacity? It might be broken capacity. I think what it's saying is it holds 550,000 liters, but it might literally just be saying, no, it only holds like 500 something. And then the other one, 900 something. Like that one might technically, well, actually, no, this one's probably better for me. Oh, and this one also lets you add foliage additive. That's actually good. I might just go with this one and just say, like, I'm gonna cut my losses and use this modded one. Because that's, like, so devastating. Again, I'll probably check different prices on different ones, but I think this one's fine. I can work with the, you know, and actually, you know, they have the smaller working head and then they have the bigger working head. You know, again, I can work with that. Or I'm willing to work with that. Again, something like this, like I'd want the price to be a bit higher, but I'm not totally against something like that either. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna stick with this one, or not with this one. It's literally just gonna be like the next closest thing. It's already downloaded. I'm gonna make sure I load in with it on. I didn't load in with it on. It's so devastating. I really hate when it does that. That's not the first time that's happened to me. It's happened to me other times. Again, I didn't turn on the mod. That's just, I don't know, that just sucked though. Let me just select that. I don't think there was anything else. Let's just turn that on. I was selling the tractor anyways, and I was gonna barely be able to afford stuff, so we'll just do that. again, I didn't want to have to sell this, but at this point, I am now selling it because I'm now using modded stuff. And as soon as I can afford to, I will probably swap off the modded stuff. Because, again, that's a joke. Okay, at least it's worse. Now then again, I know it also holds the soilage additive stuff, or it has the option to. You know what, it doesn't matter. Yeah, that doesn't change anything. I don't necessarily know. I'm assuming power shifting is supposed to be like automatic. Again, and we'll just buy the bigger modded one. Again, this is basically what I was going to be doing anyways and not having any money left over. Oh, that doesn't do grass. Oops. I just filled up the water, but I don't think that's enough. Okay, that'll just be that'll just be my added tax. It's just me being dumb. That'll just be that. Whatever. We'll also just have to use the modded one. I'll pick up the Forge Wagon in a second. Either way, that was devastating to me. It sucks. Okay, I need to zoom out. Can't be that freaking close. You know, I understand that, yeah, I was gonna say, I might as well. I don't know if the Forge Loader... Oh yeah, like, this is also, like, pretty small, too, I think. Again, this should be... Oh, no? Does it need to just be a normal trailer? Because I think this one needs an actual trailer behind it. So 24,000 for, what was it? 24,000 for 43. I would probably just go with this because that's 34,000 compared to 24. And I would just buy this as base. Like, you know, forget the design for a second because it doesn't change anything, and I don't necessarily care for the cover. Oh, it's... No, no, again, I don't care about the cover. Yeah, so it's the same... Oh, I need to wait a minute. And actually, I guess if the bale trailer... I need to know if I can pick up grass with just that, too, so... But I do need to know if a normal trailer works on it. You know, while I'm waiting for the extra little bit of money, I might as well grab what I can grab with the Forge Wagon. If that needs to just be a regular trailer, it's probably in my best interest just to sell the Forge Wagon for the biggest trailer I can get. And it would probably make sense to grab all the grass I can. You know, I don't necessarily care about what direction at the moment. I'm still really upset. Like, I don't necessarily mind that I had to download the modded version for stuff. Oh, and apparently the trailer is out of soilage additive too. You know, at this point, it doesn't really matter. I would rather just pick up the last bits of grass and then sell the wagon and not have to worry about it anymore. So let's just collect the grass and be done with it. Anyway, we'll collect this. I'm gonna just double check that the modded forge wag or the modded forge harvester works as intended. Didn't want to have to get a modded one. Could have afforded the regular one. I just decided to wait. I guess like, what would it have been, like 30 seconds too long? I guess. Ugh. If I had done it 30 seconds earlier, wouldn't have needed to get the modded version. I would have just used the regular version. Even if I had to use a smaller header to start with. Ugh. Terrible timing or terrible luck, regardless, it sucks. I literally just want to get off. But I'd rather just finish collecting everything really quick and be done with it then. Why? I guess I would have been better off if I quit the game. I probably would have been able to. But I do prefer it saving on the off chance it crashes. I would rather lose, like, 15 minutes of progress rather than a couple of hours because I never hit pause. We'll collect the last of this grass and we'll just start using the forge harvester. I'll upgrade to a different one when I can. Okay, so I guess the next stream I'm gonna save up 50,000. And then I'm gonna use that 50,000 to plow the field, and I'll plant canola. Then we'll save up money for a combine harvester thing, and we'll collect the canola. truthfully, after this, I might have enough for the biggest trailer afterwards. I guess if it can technically pull the water thing, it can pull any trailer. I guess I'm kind of okay with it not having any internal storage at all. I guess that kind of saves me some trouble. It's just gonna throw everything out at the back towards the trailer. Plus, I believe the AI workers are smart. I believe they don't let stuff just dump out just cuz. Or they won't mow stuff that's just gonna be stuck on the ground, so hopefully. Yeah, so trailers, yeah, the most expensive one is like 90,000. 52. Yeah, like, keep in mind, like, this is the only modded one I have, and that one's not even necessarily that bad. That can get up to 46. Yeah, I might just go with this one, because that one can cover pretty much everything, and it's like $30,000 less. Yeah, I might just go with this one. I think this one's probably the most cost-efficient one. We'll just collect the last of the grass and be done with this. I think later tonight before bed, I'm gonna end up recording something else to put up. Is oddly enough, a lot of people, for whatever reason, like the most popular thing on my channel just seems to be like, literally, it's an old game called Trade Winds. And I do love the game. I played the heck out of it. It was one of my most favorite early PC games that was a dedicated game, that wasn't just like a flash game. Although I think it was also a flash, like I think there was a version of it that was a flash game. Don't quote me on that because I don't remember, and I do believe it would be easy enough to run as a flash game. At least for like the first couple games. Okay, we'll just go and we'll collect this line. I might just collect this, and then once this trailer is full, I'm probably just done with collecting it. I guess I will come back and collect the rest, because this is still a decent amount. Probably be like 8,000-ish, maybe. Yeah, if anything, the Combine Harvester does kind of replace multiple machines, at least. Or the Forge Harvester, I mean. Like I said, it was an upgrade that would have been worth doing. It just sucks that kind of got screwed over by it being sold so quickly. Like I said, it's very rare when something isn't the first thing gets sold. Like, this is gonna be something where I literally am gonna pull the clip. Ugh, it sucks. Yeah, my first short is literally gonna be that. It's just gonna be me pulling the clip of me being upset about it being sold. Actually, I'll probably have to, after it's, actually, I probably can do it while it's uploading even. I'll probably go through and I'll find the first part of the clip and be like, I'm gonna save money to get this. I think I just have enough. And then I'm gonna switch to the clip of me buying all but like the last couple of things. And then I'm literally just gonna go, it's just, like literally, God. I was probably like 30 seconds away from buying it. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna dump all the grass real quick, and then I'm gonna sell the tractor, and then I'm just gonna buy it, and then I'm just gonna stop thinking about it because it's done. It's gonna be a longish clip, but it is what it is. Now let me move. Well, actually, I don't even know why I'm moving this out of the way. I'm selling it. Yeah, the thing this has to do now is I'm literally just gonna have it seed while I mess around with the forge wagon. I think literally the only thing I have to do is I have to turn the roller on. Oh, you were not planting wheat. You were planting grass. Do not plant anything else. Go do whatever. Mad enough already as is. Yeah, I think literally this with this and just... Oh, I'm gonna have to wait for this to sell in a second. I'm literally off by like dollars. Yeah, because if I were to wait for this to hold an extra 10,000, it would take too long. This holds more than this, and it's the same price. I guess this is technically cheaper. And it weighs less, and it looks like it's shorter. It's more visible. Why does this look like it's supposed to be a forge wagon? Also, you know what? Save, please. And let me go into the settings. And, how about autosave is off for this? Because on the off chance I get screwed over on a trailer, I am reloading this save. Buy that. Again, it's just because it holds an extra 1,000 and it apparently doesn't cost extra, but I don't know if I could use it because of the hydraulic thing it has. Because otherwise I should have been able to use the forge wagon. Nope. Okay. And then, just for clarification, I am just going to lease this for a second and make sure that works, or is it for some reason this one just can't connect to trailers for whatever reason, when typically they're supposed to be able to. No, okay, it can. So we'll quit the game real quick. We'll reload it because, again, that's just BS that is the case. Like I said, I was positive that was the case a second ago. I'm just going to test this for like 2-3 minutes tops, because I would like to get a small workout in. Okay, so I couldn't use that if I wanted to, and I couldn't use this one if I wanted to. I could probably use this one, but this one's technically the biggest one I could use. And I guess I could have technically used the cover, but I think that would have required me doing something else. Either way, and then I already have that working on that. And I don't necessarily care that it's working on that. I just, you know, needs to be working on that. So I guess this one has no internal storage at all, which actually it does make it a bit more reasonable, I'm gonna call it. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go off, actually we're gonna go off in this direction because this direction has higher quality stuff for me to mow. And again, we're going to expand this out in a little bit. But we're just literally going to go straight here. I first need a what? I first need to unfold the... Oh, okay. My bad. I didn't realize that it was... This isn't what I think it is either. Is it just the header that is the issue here? Hold up. Am I, like, really confused about what this is? I could have swore... Or this one might actually be a mower. And this one's a mower for sure. You know what? I think that's what it is. I think these ones are for forging, specifically picking up stuff off the ground. And I think, okay, I'm a dummy. I'm a big dummy. And this is going to cost me a lot of money. I kind of now need to sell this. I don't want to have to sell this. I'm definitely not selling that. I would rather sell the tractor. What's the cheapest one that does mowing? 60,000. It's an extra 9. Yeah, I think I have to sell it. Like, and I think I have to sell it just because, like, it's the only thing that's gonna make sense to help me out here. And that's assuming it works, actually. Hold up. I'm only gonna lease it for a second because I need to know if this even works. So I think before I even buy this trailer now, I now need to completely change what I was doing. If this works, though, I can live with it. It works. Okay, I can live with it. And this does mow, correct? Like, I need to know that this mows first. I don't have the autosave thingy on at the moment. So, like, this should be fine. This isn't saving. And this is a mower? Yes, this is a mower. I'm literally just want to go in a straight line. I just wish to know. Okay. Okay. I can live with that. I can live with that. I can figure that out, and I'm gonna figure that out next time because I am already extremely mad and annoyed and annoyed and annoyed and annoyed. Hate this. Hate this. Just, it's just, yeah, I'm done. I'm done.